The mountain air hung heavy that night, a storm brewed, its fury echoing in the hearts of those gathered at the Harbinger Road police station. 30 souls, aboard a late-night bus, had vanished. No trace, no wreckage, just an empty road, snaking its way into the storm-veiled mountains. 10 years passed, the case grew cold. The mountains kept their secrets. Then came Sub-Inspector Aravind, a young officer with a keen mind and a thirst for the unexplained. He found the file, thick with dust and despair. Something about the forgotten case tugged at him. He would reopen it, seeking answers in the silent mountains. Aravind felt the weight of the tragedy. 30 lives, their stories unfinished. He wouldn't let them fade into obscurity. He would find out what happened on that stormy night. He owed it to the families and to the mountains themselves to break the silence. Aravind sought out the families of the missing passengers. He listened to their grief, their frustration. He saw the flicker of hope in their eyes when he spoke of new leads. But hope soon turned to unease as they shared a chilling detail, a recurring dream. Each family dreamt of their loved ones trapped on a bus. The scenery outside the windows never changed. Always the same winding road, shrouded in mist. Always the same sense of dread. Aravind listened intently, a chill running down his spine. Were these merely nightmares or echoes of a deeper truth? The dreams, though unsettling, offered a clue. Aravind decided to retrace the bus's intended route. He would drive the same road, hoping to find something, anything, that had been missed. The family's pleas for closure, their haunting dreams, fueled his determination. He wouldn't fail them. The road, known only by locals as Harbinger Road, was as treacherous as its name suggested. It snaked its way through the mountains, each turn revealing breathtaking vistas and sheer drops. Aravind drove slowly, his eyes scanning the roadside, his mind replaying the family's accounts. As he drove, the wind seemed to whisper. The trees swayed, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching out. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. Aravind felt a shiver, not from the cold but from a growing sense of unease. He was not alone, he could feel it. He pressed on. The families deserved answers. The mountains held their secrets close, but Aravind was determined to pry them loose. The deeper he ventured into the mountains, the stronger the feeling of unease grew. It was as if the mountain itself was watching him, waiting. The road curved sharply ahead, a treacherous turn known locally as Devil's Bend. Legend claimed it was a place where reality thinned, where the veil between worlds could be pierced. As Aravind approached, a thick fog rolled in, blanketing the road in an eerie silence. Visibility dropped to mere feet. Aravind slowed to a crawl, his headlights cutting through the dense fog, and then he saw it. A pair of dim headlights approaching through the swirling mist. A vehicle emerging from the heart of the fog bank. A bus. Its outline was hazy, indistinct, yet undeniably a passenger bus. It moved slowly as if hesitant, its headlights casting an unnatural pale glow. Aravind stopped his jeep, his heart pounding in his chest. This was no ordinary vehicle. This was something else. Something that sent shivers down his spine. Section 5. A Spectral Passenger Manifest. A wave of icy air washed over Aravind as the bus drew closer. He could hear muffled voices, whispers carried on the wind. The bus stopped, its headlights illuminating the fog in an eerie tableau. Aravind, his hand trembling, reached for his flashlight. He stepped out of his jeep and approached the bus cautiously. The air grew colder, the whispers louder as he neared the passenger door. He shone his flashlight through the window, his breath catching in his throat. The bus was empty, except for a single item lying on the driver's seat, a worn leather-bound diary. Driven by a force he couldn't explain, Aravind reached for the door handle. It was unlocked. He stepped inside, the air thick with the scent of dust and decay. He picked up the diary, its leather cold and slightly damp. As he opened it, the bus lurched, the engine roaring to life, the sound echoing through the silent mountains. Section 6. The Road That Never Ends. The diary belonged to one of the passengers, a young woman named Maya. Her words, penned in a neat hand, painted a terrifying picture. The bus, she wrote, had become trapped in an endless loop on that very road. The scenery never changed. The fog never lifted. They were, Maya believed, trapped in a place between worlds, a purgatory of asphalt and mist. The passengers, she wrote, were fading. Their memories were blurring. Their hope was dwindling. They were losing their grip on reality, becoming one with the fog and the endless road. Aravind read on, his blood turning to ice. Maya wrote of the other passengers, their faces growing gaunt, their eyes filled with a terrible, resigned despair. She wrote of the driver, his features blurring, his voice a hollow echo, repeating the same route number over and over. This was no ordinary disappearance. This was something far more sinister. Section 7. A Journey into Mystery. A chill ran down Aravind's spine as he closed the diary. He looked up, his heart pounding. The bus was moving again. The fog outside was thicker than ever, swirling with an unnatural energy. He was trapped. He glanced at the driver's seat. The figure behind the wheel was a silhouette, its features lost in the shadows, but Aravind could feel the driver's eyes on him, cold and empty. He knew then that escape was impossible, not from this place, not from this road. A strange calm settled over him. He understood now, this was not a punishment, but a destination. The road that never ended was not a prison, but a sanctuary. He was meant to be here, to join the others, to become part of the road's eternal journey. Section 8. Lost and Found. The bus slowed, stopping at the familiar curve of Devil's Bend. The fog swirled outside, but through it Aravind could see his jeep. The keys were still in the ignition. The door was ajar. An invitation. He stood up, the diary clutched tightly in his hand. He could stay, join the passengers in their endless journey, or he could step off the bus, back into a world that had already moved on without him. The choice was his. Aravind looked at the diary one last time. Maya's words echoed in his mind. He knew what he had to do. He stepped off the bus, the fog closing around him like a shroud. He would find a way to free them, to break the curse of the endless road. He owed them that much. Section 9. The Silence After. The fog receded with the dawn. Aravind's jeep stood empty on the roadside, the driver's door still ajar. The diary lay open on the passenger seat, its pages fluttering in the breeze. Of Aravind, there was no sign. Locals claimed to have seen the bus again, a spectral apparition gliding through the fog. They whispered of a new passenger, a young police officer, his face etched with a look of determined hope. The road, they said, was no longer silent. It whispered with the voices of the lost, and the echoes of a journey without end. The mystery of the vanished bus remained, but the mountain held its secrets close, its silence unbroken. The road stretched onward, a ribbon of asphalt disappearing into the mist, a constant reminder of the thin veil that separates the world of the living from the realm of the lost.